Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. Today I will be teaching you guys how to tune the Mercedes AMG E63S. We're going to turn this thing into an S1 or an S2 class race car. Alright, first things first, let's jump in and see what we can do with this guy. It is already all-wheel drive, so I believe the only thing, we can only make it rear-wheel drive. We're not going to touch that. We can change engines for V10 or a V12. We're going to leave it as a V8, I believe, is what it is. We're going to get all the downforce. That is a sick bumper, but we can't have it. So, let's see, what else we got? Wings, the ugly Forza wing, great. We'll throw the cool bumper on it. That's all right. Tires. I think we have, okay, so we have race tires or street tires, whatever. We're going to go for, just straight slick racing tires because they give you the best ability to corner, and then we're going to make them as wide as possible. I have not had a chance to look at this car yet. Widen the track width, give you better stability through the corners as always, and then we're going to add everything we can to give us the most ability to tune, because that's what we're going to do to make this car really fast. Alright, so I basically went through and added everything out of these two categories all the way through. Now we're going to add power. This is where we start pushing up in the higher performance index points. So first things first, we're going to start off with turbo and cam. Give us the most RPM and the most power we can in a short amount of time. And then we're just going to keep pushing it and see how close we can get it to S2 without going over. Right there, that's it. So let's see what we've done to this thing. Spent 71,000 credits to cut almost 1,000 pounds out of it. That's pretty good. We added over 200 horsepower and put our performance index right at 900, which is exactly what we want. So let's jump into tuning this guy. We're just going to do a base tune, and then if it needs adjusting, we will come back in and adjust it, and I will show you guys what it looks like. I'm basically just going to go through and make everything what I normally do. For all of my tuning, 2 and 1.5 is fine. We're going to add 0.2 to the out on the toe, and then 1, and caster up to 6 degrees. Anti-roll bars, softer in the front, and then stiffer in the rear, but also still a little softer than it is now. Springs, same thing, softer in the front. This, if you go through and read the descriptions of all these, it gives you a really good idea how to tune. I'm just doing what I normally do. Softer in the front and stiffer in the rear usually promotes oversteer, which helps you turn into corners faster, obviously. Rebound stiffness, I usually decrease these just a hair, and then if you read the description, I believe it will tell you what kind of how you want your bump stiffness and rebound stiffness set up, and it tells you what it does. Obviously, description describing what it does. I usually put these right at like 50% to start and then stiffen as needed. Right there. 50 to 75% as stiff as rebound damping, so the car will start to squat before the rebound makes it stand up. There you go. Aero, we're going to add some cornering in the front, more cornering in the front than we do the rear. If the engine's in the front, you can have more weight on the back for cornering, but I wouldn't do too much. You always want a little bit more on the front. Brakes. You can change this if you want. I never do. It's almost always just perfect for me. The diff, we have all-wheel drive, so we're going to leave it a little softer in the front. We're going to do 25-25. This promotes having a softer diff in the front and a stiffer in the rear. Promotes oversteer. Helps it dart into the corners more. And then 70%, right about where we want it anyway. So let's apply this guy and go run it around the track real quick and see how we do. Alright, rolling up to the Horizon Mexico circuit. This is usually where I go to test my tunes. And I have an anything goes set up with nobody around, so we can just take the car out and drive it. This track has a really good mix of all the different types of corners, which is why I usually bring it here. And there's some decent straightaway. Not super long, but there is some. Alright, let's see how she handles. I will give you guys my thoughts as we go. Good launch from the all-wheel drive. Surprise, surprise. Little bit of oversteer going into a corner. That might have been just because we were going a little fast. Should be able to keep this flat out all the way through. Yep, no problem. Ooh, a little bit too fast. That might have been on me. Obviously, if we went in too fast, it's on me, but I don't know if it's understeering just because or if it's because I was going too fast. We seem to have, it does seem like there's not enough oversteer for my liking, so we can go back in and fiddle with that. All-wheel drive cars do seem to have a little bit of difficulty on the understeer, oversteer. I'm shifting a little too fast there. This corner nice and slow, not nice and slow, but slower. That was a good corner. It might have just been me. Did we get this tune right in the first go? No. Still needs a little bit more oversteer. We need to promote a little bit more oversteer in the tuning still. Let's check on our telemetry. See how our tires are doing for heat. Yellow all the way around. Damn, that's pretty good. Getting a little bit warm. The hotter they get, the more grip you lose, usually. Little too hot, which tells me we're getting a little bit too much camber in the corners, which means we need to decrease our caster. Probably not by much, though. We'll drop it half a point, go from there, or half a degree. We have too much camber. You lose grip because it rides on one part of the tire harder than the other and doesn't let the whole tire grab. We could also fix that a little bit by decreasing the amount of pressure we have in the front tires. But I'm thinking, since it's heating up all the way to the middle, that we have too much caster. Yep, and it's overheating in the middle, so we may need to add a little bit of tire pressure. Notice how the back tires are pretty cold on the outside. We could add just a hair more rear camber if we want to take away just a hair in the front. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, our camber's riding above 2 while we're driving straight, so we're going to decrease that just a hair, and then we will decrease the caster just a hair. Alright, luckily enough, we can just tune it from where we're sitting, which is always nice. So we're going to decrease the front just a touch, and decrease the back just a touch. Gearing's fine, alignment, that's what we want to do. We're going to bop that down, and this guy's good. Those are good. We're going to decrease the caster. This should get us what we want to know, and we're not going to go back into the race. We're just going to hit these corners and keep the telemetry up. Get the tires warm. There we go. I can already tell the nose is a little grabbier. No idea how fast I'm going, so I'm just playing it by ear. Actually, let me just go in here, that way I can see how fast I'm going. Ooh, corner. Alright. Our tires are nice and yellow, which is right around where we want them. Our back tires are still just a hair on the cold side, so we may decrease the camber in the back there. And I am paying too much attention to that and not what how I'm driving. Alright, so I've decided that the back tires have a little bit too much camber on them. So we're going to lower that just a hair, and then we're going to get rid of that toe and see how it changes. Ideally, we would like all of our tires contacting while we are driving, especially if we're going around a corner. In order to get the back to not slide, you want like as much grip as you can get, obviously. I'm having a hard time talking today. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. And I'm screwing up these corners, but that's fine. I'm paying more attention to the color. We still have just a hair too much camber, so we're going to lower that again. 1 degree. And then we're going to negative that just a little bit. Gets us a little bit more stability on the straights. Too fast, too fast. Ideally, you want to hit that corner at like 90 miles an hour. All right. That is where we want it. I don't know if you noticed that, but going around that that last right-hand corner there. Our tire heated up all the way, which means we're getting as much grab as we can out of it. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop this video right here. What I'm gonna do is create a tune for you guys. The tune, if you want to find the tune, the name of it's going to be HTT. You can look for my gamer tag up here. If my mouse will show up. Whatever, my mouse doesn't show up, but I'll highlight it. I'm gonna show you guys the tune if you want to tune it. That way you can make it S2, you can change your power, whatever. If you want a good S1 tune, it's there. And I will link the share code if I can ever figure out how to find it. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great rest of your day. Also like, sub, and comment and all that fun stuff. Thanks.